Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with another episode of Draenor vs Outland. In this series of videos, what I do is I take two like-for-like locations that exist in completely different timelines. The first one being in Outland, a remnant of the destroyed planet of Draenor, and the second one being on Draenor itself, the world that had its time altered by Garrosh Hellscream. In today's video, I'm going to look specifically at Shattrath City. And in Outland, we know that this is a remnant of what used to be a destroyed and disrepaired city that's a sanctuary for both the Horde and the Alliance. But it definitely showed snippets of what it might have been. And it hints that this was once an amazing, grandiose city that spread afar. But I don't think we're quite prepared for how magnificent it really was. And if we flip over now to the Draenor world version of Shattrath City, we finally get to see. Look at it. The interior is protected by a colossal dome which no longer exists. Down below we see some living quarters where probably the Scryer's Rise used to be. And look, it stretches as far as the World of Warcraft eye can possibly see. This isn't an ordinary city. This is a jewel in the crown for the Draenor. And there's only one way to really enter such a magnificent city, and that is through a magnificent front gate. You can barely see the dome in the distance when you enter. It is that absolutely massive. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. And as we get to the central hub, you can see the bridges linking over. Yeah, there's a body of water down below, and these bridges still exist in the Outland version of Shattrath. Only difference being, where there's water here, we have the lower city. That body of liquid long since gone. And when we pan around, you can see another one of the interlinking bridges going over, giving us a very cool sense of familiarity. And it also makes us appreciate why things down here came to a very abrupt and weird ending. It was never meant as any sort of residential area. It was a moat of some variety. And where we did see the residential area for the Draenor version of Shattrath, we get the Scryer's Rise. So just to give another idea of the scope of this place, let's take it from a slightly different angle. Instead of just going forward and over the bridges, which we can now see the dome in the distance, let's go left and look at all the area that exists. This doesn't. On the Outland version, it's long since gone and been replaced by forestation. All the water drained. All the constructs gone. Everything that used to exist, it's now a complete and utter shell. And this also allows us to appreciate something more. It allows us to appreciate the loss. We always had an idea of what Shattrath was, but we never quite understood. Now that we get to see the full scope, it makes this place feel even more sorrowful. It makes this place feel even more empty, and it also makes this place have that certain element of despair. If you never felt it before in a Burning Crusade, you can't help but feel it now. And as I leave the Scryer's Tier and move up to the Aldor Rise, you can just see everything seems to be soulless compared to how it used to be in Draenor. No matter how much the Naru or the Aldor or the Scryers have attempted to bring it back to some semblance of order or some semblance of habitability, the clear indication is this is utter devastation on a scale which we can only appreciate right now. The Scryer's Tier used to be the residential area. Although it's now overrun by the Burning Legion, we can clearly see there are multiple houses and they are in good state. This is somewhere that has only recently been taken over. The trees and the vegetation are absolutely beautiful. We have a little archway which takes us to the lift which we just went up in the previous clip. And in rather a strange turn of events, where the Aldor Rise now exists, we have this place which seems barren and bare and completely overrun by the Burning Legion. A fountain does exist which hints that there used to be something constructed here at one point, but now it appears Burning Legion portals and demons are what exist right now. But looming rather ominously above the Aldor Rise in the Outland version of the Fragment of Draenor, we have the Barrier Hills, a place which is heavily occupied by ogres. Not only ogres though, but a very particular Gron as well, one of the sons of Gruul, chilling out in a massive hut. And if we flip over to the constructed full version of Draenor, we see that this area is untouched and beautiful, and rather intriguingly also called the Time Lost Glade. Does this hint that it might have something to do with the Bronze Dragonflight? Does it hint that it might actually have something to do with the Infinite Dragonflight, now that things have been a little bit more clear after the books, of course? It's been fascinating to compare Shattrath Outland versus Shattrath Draenor. One of them is a city in its prime, at its peak of magnificence, and the other one is a city in the peak of despair. It's unbelievable, but both places are fascinating beyond belief. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook and twitch.tv/HeelvsBabyface for live Warlords of Draenor beta streaming. And I shall be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.